I'm Melinda, and this is a Web of Stories. Thank you for visiting my channel, and today I am going to tell you what I am reading this week, which is the week of January 29th in the year of our Lord 2023. So, I didn't do an update last week. I was just feeling under the weather, and so it just didn't happen, but everything's good. We're here to update from what I'm currently reading. Later this week, so it's the 29th now, later this week, I'll put out a review of everything that I read in January. So I'm not going to spend much time on what I have finished this week, but more what I'm currently reading. So the first book I'm reading is one that my daughter wants me to read. One of my goals for this year was each month I'm going to read a book that she recommends to me from her bookshelf that is not manga. And that was my stipulation. I don't think my mind can handle manga. But the first book she gave me is The Case of the Missing Marquess by Nancy Springer, which is the first book in the Enola Holmes series. This has been made into a Netflix movie, and we've seen the Netflix movie, so I know the basic outline of the story, but my daughter assures me that it's different. So we'll see how that goes. By the way, if you haven't seen the Netflix movies, there are 2 of them now. They are actually a lot of fun. Plus, they have Henry Cavill in it. And how can you not like something that has Henry Cavill in it? So my ebook that I have going right now is called Lemon. And I'm sorry, I'm going to not pronounce the author's name correctly. It's Kwon Yeo-sun. It's a Korean author, and this is, of course, a translated book. I just started it last night, so I can't. It's a mystery. It seems like it's a mystery about what happened to the main character's sister. I don't know much more than that about it. I'm really challenging myself to read more translated fiction this year, and I've had trouble with Korean fiction in the past. So this book isn't very long. It's less than 200 pages, I believe. I have it on my ebook, so on my e-reader, so I don't know the exact page number, but it is, if you get it in print, it's less than 200 pages. And I figure, okay, this is probably a good one to really kind of buckle down and read. And maybe that will be a good stepping stone to some other South Korean books. I do better with memoir. I did read In Order to Live last year, which I know is very popular. I hated it. I had some serious issues with that book, but I don't think it had anything to do with it being stylistic. I think it had to do with the author. But I do better with nonfiction in those. But I want to be able to expand what I can read in fiction. So I'm really trying to read books from different parts of the world this year. And then on audio, I'm listening to The Wangs versus the World by Jade Chang. This is for one of my book clubs. And the best way I can describe this is it's like if crazy rich Asians all of a sudden weren't rich and they were American. I meant to actually read this book, but the copy I have, I picked it up and I realized that my eyes were not going to work. My eyes just were going to go on strike with this book. The print was too small, and I have some eye issues, so I said, fine, I'll just do the audio. My only worry right now is that I won't finish it before the audio is due back at the library. So I need to buckle down and finish that one within the next 3 days. So that's my audiobook. And then I'm going to call this a short story collection because it says stories on the cover. But it's The Beadworkers by Beth Piatote, or Piatote. I don't know how that's pronounced. And as I said, I'm calling it a short story collection. It says stories right there on the cover. But there's poetry, there's a play in this. It's really, in some ways, experimental. I am really enjoying this. The author is a native, but she's belongs to the Nez Perce tribe. And a lot of this, which is a tribe that's in this general area. They're in the Pacific Northwest, which is where I am. Although the Nez Perce weren't in where I live now. That was a different tribe that was here. But, they were still in the Pacific Northwest. So a lot of these stories are set in the Northwest, which is really interesting to me. There's one story that I think is set very near to where my husband grew up. If you ever met my husband, within the first 5 minutes, he would tell you that he went to school on an Indian reservation. I don't know what this is with him, but he likes to tell people that. But one story was near where he grew up. There's another story that references Shamawa Indian School, which is the second oldest residential school in the United States. And it's the oldest, it's only one of 2 that's still in existence, and it's in my hometown. Now, the residential schools have a really horrible past. I'm not going to sugarcoat that now. I do know the aim of the two remaining schools are now different than what they began with. It's not about trying to assimilate Native people into the white culture. They actually, their focus is to foster their Native culture. But there's still a lot of problems with the schools. A lot of it has to do with funding and oversight. So it's, it's a hard case to study, but that school is referenced in here. Usually when I read Native American literature, it's from a large tribe that everyone knows, like, the Sioux or the Dene or the Choctaw or whoever. And that makes sense because they're just bigger tribes, so therefore there's more people and you're more likely to have heard from them. So it's really interesting to read the tribes that in this part of the country. They we have a confederation of tribes, but none of the tribes themselves are really big. So it's just interesting to hear from one of those tribes. And I am actually really enjoying this book, and I would recommend it if you can find it. That is Portland, Oregon on the cover. And it is The Beadworkers by Beth Piatote. And then finally, my year-long read, which is going to be less than a year because I'm reading ahead on it because I'm enjoying it, is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I'm already ahead of my schedule. It's what I read at lunch. It's an interesting book. I'm really surprised at how much I'm enjoying it. So the original plan, I'd finish in mid-November. I think I'll be finished with this long before then. So far, so good. So that is what I am currently reading this week. If you'd like to tell me what you're reading this week, I would love to hear it because I'm always looking for more recommendations. Just leave a comment below. And you can like this video and subscribe to this channel. And if you stay through to the end of this video or look in the comment box below, you'll see everywhere you can find me in the social media. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.